Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode, we are going to be reviewing SHAZAM, Fury of the Gods. But before we do that, do us a favor, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below.
Oh, spoilers, sorry.
Jesus.
I was trying not to interrupt.
So I thought we had a flow now, like 50 episodes in.
Mm.
We are actually approaching our 50th episode very soon.
It's close,
So let us know in the comments too. It just popped in my head right now. If we should do something special, if we should do, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, 50. What are we on? What is this like?
This would be like 45.
Yeah, or 6. Yeah.
Something like that. I have to look.
45,
But we're
yeah.
getting close, so it'll be within the next week or two.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been here for a minute. We run it. Where you at? But yeah, guys. So I kind of want to go with the pros first and the cons because I think there's more pros than cons with this movie. Do you agree?
I'll say that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
don't really have too many things I would
Yeah,
call a con.
Yeah. Did
Annoyances.
you? Yeah, annoyances. What? Yeah. Did you go first last episode?
Yeah, I think I did.
All right, so I'll
Because you
go.
had to cut something because I said
Yeah. This guy was cussing
bad
up a
word.
storm.
I
Yeah.
didn't even cuss. I know what I said
Just-
because you kind of edited it.
Just stop. Just this guy with this. He doesn't want to make a bag out here. That's what
I don't know. That's
Exactly.
Silly. I don't know.
But yeah, alrighty. So yeah, my overall thoughts. Before we head into like the little pros and cons of it all. It slightly exceeded my expectations. So when I came into it, like, oh, this will be a solid Shazam. When they announced it, I was like, oh, well, I enjoyed the first Shazam, so I assume it's going to be similar to that. And then, obviously, as you see on our channel, pretty much half our episodes consist of discussing DC and what they got going on. And so there's been all these new updates and rearrangements. And so that caused slight concern. So in a way, it kind of it lowered my expectation for the movie. So my original expectation was here, and then it was here after all these new updates and announcements and etc. And then it kind of went back to the standard I had it at originally. So it was with a slight
So nothing,
exceeding.
it just went up
Yeah.
down the back in the middle.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say I agree, but now I don't know. It confused me, but it was better than I expected.
Yeah.
It was a strong movie, the original one. What we said, we're starting with cons, right?
pros.
Pros.
Opposite of what I said.
Oh, you said we're starting with cons because
No.
it was less.
I said
He
pros.
said we were.
I
starting
said
with cons.
pros because there's less cons.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't get into it too much, but like I will say, it was much better than I thought it was going to be, and I
Yes.
thought it was just a really good movie. I don't know if James Gunn or Safransky had their hand in it.
It was
at
Peter
all.
Safran. He's the one.
Safran, sorry,
Yeah.
not Safransky. But
So-
did he directed it?
I produced it, I
Produced
believe.
it, okay.
I just saw the guy who actually did direct. I saw on Twitter today. He said he's done with Shazam. He's done directing. He's going back to horror. So he's done with Shazam.
Oh, so he was. That's a good thing because it was really gruesome. Like you always think, like they do a great job. I wrote my notes from switching from like the kiddie lightheartedness
Yeah.
and then to like some just really you're like holy shit, like
Yeah.
they kill somebody or sorry, I can't. That's the word I can't say, but murder someone.
I think it's the same thing. You could say that's not a swear.
I thought that's what it was.
No, you said something. You said something else.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, they're just like really brutal too. It wasn't like
Yeah.
like you would think in like a kid's superhero movie where like somebody just falls off a bridge or something.
Yeah.
Like no, they're like getting ripped apart by monsters and like at the opening scene, they like murder or like freeze a whole bunch of people in a room, right? Turn them to stone or something like that, right?
In the first film.
Yeah, like the museum.
Yeah.
No, not in the first one. In the second one, when they get the
Oh,
staff out of the
yeah,
museum,
yeah.
or in
museum.
is that what it is?
Museum?
Museum.
Thank
I thought
you.
I said it fine. I
No,
don't know.
museum with your southern
Shazam,
twang.
museum. And yeah, they just and there was like kids and all type of. You're like,
Yeah.
oh man. So and then they go like right to like a really kiddie scene with a bunch of like 12-year-olds. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that was a smooth transition.
Yeah, no, I was really thoroughly surprised. And actually, I'm not sure if you knew this. I thought it was like only like an hour and a half. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes. That kind of blew my mind because it felt like the pacing was really
I
well
thought
done.
I thought it was quick. I think 2 hours and 10 minutes. We plan on doing an episode about this. I think that is a quick movie now.
But
that
it felt like
it
it
did
was
go
shorter.
smooth, yeah.
That's
But
my number one.
I
pro
enjoyed
put
how
on
the
there.
length of the movie it got through. I do agree. It was very watchable. I think I'm going to watch it again here soon.
Yeah. I'll wait till it comes on HBO. I'll watch it again then.
Yeah, how long do you think that's going to be?
Month.
Like
That's what
month?
you usually do, month or two.
It's not bad, man.
No, so I can wait. But yeah, I'll also say that I saw on Twitter too. Some people were comparing it to Love and Thunder and saying the comedy was a little bit too much. But I would also like to compare it to Love and Thunder, but in the opposite way of Twitter and social media is talking about. I think they did it 10 times better, where they timed it properly, because it is a lighthearted movie. It is.
No, I would agree that it is like Love and Thunder, but the characters are all kids, not million-year-old badass gods.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, the jokes are corny. It's supposed to be corny because he's what is he, 14?
15. He's about to be 18 in the.
No, I think when you're 16 or something, or 17, you age out or whatever, or something like that. Whatever, but he's not he's a child trapped in a grown man's body.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be stupid. Like, Thor's not supposed to be like this bumbling. I don't know what to do. I'm not confident in myself. So like, it works in Shazam because that's what it's supposed to be. He's a kid, like, with the world on his shoulders. Like, Thor is the king, like the king of Asgard, one of the most powerful people on the planet. Like, so it's stupid when he's trying to be funny when that's like not even his thing. Like,
when it's unnatural.
Yeah,
like
it's very natural with Billy and his brothers and the foster homes. Like, that's what the Shazam. That's what Shazam is. Like, that's what people come to see. Was it a new mom? Right? It was a new mom, right? Shazam.
Was it?
Yeah, right. Was it? I don't know. I wrote that down in my notes.
Did she look different?
I don't know. Maybe she just looked different.
Maybe recast her. Or maybe she just looks different. But I don't know.
Because
they kept the same dad as the guy
the
from
same
Walking
dad.
Dead.
I forgot what his name was in Walking Dead. He was good though.
His character's name was Victor Vasquez.
No, I'm talking about Walking Dead. What's his name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah. Jerry's
goated.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because that role, like, he just gets cast.
People are like,
everyone loves him. He's a
but
guy.
I guess, like I said, I think that's a good comparison. But I think that's what people didn't like about Love and Thunder. They tried to make it like some other superheroes. Like, Thor's a pretty straightforward superhero. Like, he's the traditional hero where, like, he gets beat in the beginning and he comes back and he wins in the end. Like, through hard work and determination, not like love and understanding. Like, it don't, like,
Love and Thunder,
it works. It works for some characters, but it don't work for Thor, and that's why people didn't like it. Like, it's fine for Billy to come to realization that, I don't, you know what I mean, my family's growing apart. You know what I mean? Whatever, silly. Like, he's going through kid problems. Thor is like you know what I mean, been alive for thousands of years. Like,
I would agree with that. And speaking about the villains, for Shazam. They were like a tad bit. I said cliche in my notes. I didn't know what to put, but I just thought of it now. I think simple is a better word to do. They didn't overcomplicate it. Yeah. They kind of just showed the basis. Like, hey, this is their goal. This is that, and that's that. They didn't like go crazy with it or do some like typical plot twist where it's like overcomplicated. And that's what I give this movie. I think it is a compliment to it because I think recently, especially with on the Marvel side, they've been more active in general, is they've been like overcomplicating plots and like making it way too confusing more than it has to be.
Because what is the payoff. Like, if you do make a really complicated plot and it works, everyone like, oh my God, give them every award. But then it's like, then if it doesn't,
older stuff,
if it doesn't, it's just stupid. And then you're right, it was really simple. The bad guys were bad guys. The one bad guy who you knew was going to turn. The one you knew who was really more evil than the rest was more evil than the rest. Like, so, like, again, they're just hitting traditional things that work in movies. You already know they work. You don't have to try these new advanced things that worked one time in a movie 15 years ago. But, like, it ain't hitting again unless you get the perfect cast, the perfect plot, the perfect writers. And it just, I mean, sometimes it's even just like the climate of what's going on. We don't know, like, some of these movies, if they would have came out 6 months later, who knows if they would have been blockbusters.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, it's all hit or miss. So it's really just try and tell a basic, especially with superheroes, simple story that everyone's going to like. That superheroes are for everybody.
I agree with that a lot. And, with Shazam, all their little setups in the beginning kind of paid off again. Like, a lot of them were sillier. Majority of them were, in the sense of the biggest one was like the whole Wonder Woman Shazam thing. That
I guess it was silly.
I
think you're right. It is silly, but like that's literally the point of making a movie is like you do something silly in the beginning, and when it ends, yes, exactly. So it makes like, it was worth my time watching this movie type of thing. It's the same with like the unicorn.
Yeah.
And like,
there we go.
Yeah, like that's another good one. It's like that is like, it might be silly, but it's like that you're telling a story. Like,
in good taste.
Yes, like you know what I mean, closing some loopholes, connecting some stuff. People can go, I remember that, or like, you know what I mean, bring up. It's just like that was. You're right. They closed a lot of loopholes. I love that they brought the Wonder Woman thing back.
Yeah.
And, like he was still trying to get a kiss
Yeah.
type of thing, and she wasn't going.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really get it. Like the thing where like she had some god inside of her, or like.
What do you mean?
Like she gave her power to.
Well, she's the daughter of Zeus.
I know, but it's like, is she not like she's not a god anymore then?
I don't know.
Yeah, like that part I don't like.
I thought she was just able just to help.
Only
him.
yeah,
only gods can revive.
But she said you have my father's power, Zeus, inside of you. Don't waste it or something.
Oh, that was originally. That was always Shazam.
Huh?
That was always Shazam. Remember they showed the power of Zeus. That's what the Z was, or something like that.
No,
remember?
the power. No, they explained wasn't the power from those girls' dad.
No, remember when it showed in the library? It showed the SHA what Shazam stood for, and it showed that power Zeus was one of them, and that's what she was talking about.
Okay, I don't
But she was just saying that like, hey,
okay, I didn't know if like she gave like I
no.
knew she was the daughter of Zeus. I thought
Yeah.
that meant like when she gave. I don't know. It was like
Yeah.
that part was very confusing to me. I didn't really know what was going
no,
on.
they just
I knew
share
he was
his
coming
powers.
back.
Yeah,
though.
they shared his power. That was cool though. I liked the burying scene though. Yeah, because it was a good emotional thing. I thought he was gonna like be revived
Yeah.
at that scene in the baseball field, but he wasn't. Like, oh, that's a cool little
Yeah.
twist.
Kinda
And then he
did it
got
like
buried.
Superman, where they
Yeah.
like, bring him back.
I thought it was gonna be like that, and then he come back, and he's like, "I've been dead for like 3 minutes." Like it's just something like that. That was a good. Again, like that was an appropriate time to make a joke for that type of situation. Like it's exactly how anyone would react to buried alive.
I don't know if it's a timing thing. Like I said, it's like that's their cast.
Yeah,
All their
that's
heroes
what-
are
yeah.
a bunch of children and a goofy foster dad. Like you can make those jokes all movie at any point
Yeah.
in time because you can always write it off.
doesn't
as,
feel awkward.
yeah, like in Thor, like every time he tells a joke, it's awkward. Sometimes they hit.
Yeah.
But really, for the most part, every time they're trying to be. The one thing I really didn't like, my major gripe, and I guess it really wasn't because the plot of the movie was dismantling it, was the family thing. Like where they all had powers. That just felt like super silly to me.
Yeah, I didn't like that in the first one. It felt rushed.
Yeah,
it felt like it would have made more sense in this movie.
Yeah, that's why I was glad in the end of this movie he fights the final battle. The end of
Yeah.
the last one, they kind of stole the show. He was like,
Yeah.
he spent the whole movie.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, he spent the whole movie doing it by
Figuring it
himself
out, yeah.
and figuring out, and then the final battle, they all come and I won't say save him, but like steal his glory.
Cop out.
Yeah, and in this one, like, so I was like, oh, I don't want to see this in the whole movie. Then it starts
Yeah.
off, and then like basically for him,
That
he's
was
like,
the plot, though.
yeah,
like,
the plot was
family.
dismantling
Yeah.
it, and like they're all gonna go do their own
Yeah.
thing. We shouldn't be endangering all these kids if one
Yeah.
kid can be in danger or whatever. Or Billy's not a kid anymore, so
Yeah.
so like I said, that was my one major gripe. Is like I was really didn't want to see that again.
Yeah, I
with
didn't.
the
That
kids.
was my biggest issue with the first movie. Was like when that it just felt it just felt weird. It
So,
it
like
felt
it-
unnatural when they
so,
put it in.
yeah,
But
so I
they fix that in this one a lot.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if the word because like the point of the movie was to like tear away from that, so
Yes.
they're not going to do that anymore. So I guess it's a complaint because
Yeah.
most of the movie it still is all of them have their powers and they're running
Yeah.
around for a lot of it. So I think it kind of takes away from Shazam because I think Zachary Levi is awesome as Shazam,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think I want to see more of him doing stuff. And every minute they're giving to the other characters with their powers essentially would probably be time they would give to him.
Yeah.
So that's what we're taking away, and I don't think any of those other characters we got them in 2 movies. None of them really popped like
No.
Zachary Levi did.
Their dynamics were flourished more in this one. Freddy.
I mean, Freddy was okay.
Yeah.
Freddy's arc was a little funny.
Yeah.
Like you knew what was going to happen, but like his was the only one was all right. But all
Yeah.
the other ones just felt like weird.
No, it was they're side characters.
Yeah.
They and the writers and directors, and if you watch the first movie, like they're only good for certain sections. Like Darla is a great example. It's like I love Darla,
Yeah.
but I don't think we're gonna see a big develop from her. I think she's gonna stay as like the sweet innocent kid, sweetheart, and like that's her niche. There we go.
Mhm.
Like niche. They all have certain niches, and then that's that. Like Freddy's the only one who maybe has some character development and growth, etc. And was it Marla? Oh, Mary, the older sister.
Well, she's leaving. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
right? She'll
something
be
like
gone.
that. But yeah, I think those obviously Billy, those 3 may have the biggest like arcs and growth, but who knows? Because I don't know what's gonna happen furthering the Shazam franchise. But I do want to discuss. Speaking of Zachary Levi, I want to discuss this because I saw this on a TikTok. I saw it actually as a podcast clip. I was thinking this when I was watching the movie too. I wish I could shout you guys out, but A, I cannot remember your name, and B, even if I did, I would not give you credit because we're number 1. So, Zachary Levi and Asher Angel, I think that's Billy Batson. It feels like to me they play different versions of Billy or Shazam. Like In the sense of like, so every time Billy's like around, he's like a moody like something in the way. Like it just feels like he's like a lot more darker and like mysterious and like teenage angst. But then Shazam, like, and he doesn't really like crack jokes. He's like sarcastic at times. I remember that was a lot more in the first movie, more so. He's sarcastic. In the second one, not as much. It was more Shazam time. But when he was Shazam, he was like kind of like Freddy, like super goofball stuff like that. And I was like, it felt like it's been in this one more so. It just felt like it was like two different characters, so to speak. But it's supposed to be the same person.
I guess wouldn't that just be most teenagers like? You're kind of like everyone would be a little more out of their shell if they were an indestructible superhero who could fly around. Like
yeah, I gave that thought too. I was like, okay, maybe the Shazam gives him that.
Yeah,
confidence.
that's what I'm saying. When he's Billy, he's a little orphan whose mom didn't want him, and you know what I mean, who gets bullied and like poor and all type of other stuff. And it's like,
I thought about that too. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I kind of
it bothered me.
But and also too, he's like a kid, like consciously in an adult's body, and he knows it. Yeah. Like, so then it's probably this weird dynamic where like you're trying to act like a superhero even though you're not. Like, I don't know. It'd be weird. I do notice that, I guess.
Yeah. Another one I have. This was like a little side thing. It wasn't a big deal. But the Anthea and Freddy love story was kind of rushed, but
it was weird too because like she's like, I'm 4,000 or something.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to be, that was funny. That was pretty funny too.
If it was the other way, the Shazam would got canceled. Yeah. If it was a 5,000-year-old male god kissing that little black girl,
that was so funny. It's like even the parents are like, I feel like this is on now. Like, and then they brought up later. He's like, what's with our kids with these older people, women? It was just funny. That was a funny thing.
I like that they broached that one of the kids was gay. Yeah. But like in a real like, all right, we're not talking about this ever again.
Family Matter thing, yeah. A Family Matter. Like a not the show.
Well, they were in a Family Matter where they were like, oh yeah, we all knew you were gay. Like it was kind of like Umbrella Academy where she they did that really one episode she shows up dressed like a dude and they're like, okay, whatever, we're calling you Victor now. All right.
Like, they're like, we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, no,
okay. You want to be called like?
I like that. Because it's like a true family thing.
For most siblings, like real like
it is like a big issue.
You might talk about it, behind closed doors. They probably already talked about it.
Yeah.
I think that was where they were like, we already all know. They probably already had the conversation. They know before you're ready to tell everybody.
Yeah.
So I like they tastefully broached that. I don't know why they had to. It's one thing if like Zachary Levi was gay or like one of the main characters was, but like I don't know why you have to insert that in the movie. Like that's not a part.
Well, I have to watch the first one because maybe those hints towards there.
But who cares? They inserted it in the first one too, where it's like that's not a part of the comic book.
I never read Shazam.
And again, like if Zachary Levi was gay in real life, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna do some whatever, I'd be like, okay, just you're for them. It's like you're creating characters, and it's like I guess I don't care, but like, what is the point? Why don't you just like, there's real authentic stories about LGBTQ people. It's like, why don't you just do those instead of like, oh, we're gonna make sure every single Marvel and DC movie has somebody who's gender fluid in there. Like that's every movie now. Like any supposed blockbuster, I would bet huge money somebody in Flash is, like I said, gender fluid, like, or call me they them or something. Like I'm just, again, I don't know, and it's not a bad thing where it's like, but why not just make a movie? It's the same as like why you got to make a Viking black. Like why don't you just tell a dope story about an older, an actual black character instead of making a Viking black and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, it's a cool story because it's the Black Viking. Why don't you just tell some story about a black warrior from around that time as well? And I feel like that's what they're doing with a lot of like said, like I guess this movie they kind of brushed past it. But
I would agree with your general point, but for this movie specifically,
like I said, it was still
it didn't oversaturate.
It was still a scene in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't an issue to me. It didn't bother.
Like I said, I don't think it's an issue. I just think it's something that like I noticed watching the movie. Again, I said I thought it was tasteful, and I'm glad they didn't sit on it or make it a part of the movie. Yeah, because like I said, no offense, nobody cares about that kid. Yeah, like that's all I'm saying. I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the piece of art, the comic book you're trying to bring to life. Like nobody gives a shit about that kid. If he's gay or straight, if he's tall or short or poor, if he dies, no one cares. Yeah. Like we don't need to be doing none of his story arc. I don't care. Like that's more so what I mean. Like he's an NPC.
Yeah. Like, it's a little side character. I do agree with that. A little fun fact too. When Shazam, where Zachary Levi was doing the dragon battle, fighting with Lucy Liu. I think was she Calypso? Which one was Calypso, and which one was Hespera?
Sparrow was Lucy Liu, I thought.
Okay. But yeah, so when they're fighting on the dragon and he's talking to all those people on the ground, I'm not sure if you recalled it, but that old guy who's like, "Good job, Captain Marvel." That was a little Easter egg because Shazam was originally called Captain Marvel. Okay. And then also another layer to that, I found out today or yesterday when I was making my notes that the guy who said it was actually the original Shazam character who played Shazam in the 70s.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Shazam.
I mean, they did like the whole.
I know they did the whole.
They had a million.
Yeah, but Shazam was different.
No, yeah, but it was just a cool little.
Like the Hulk's easy to do.
Yeah, it was just a really big. That was a cool little cameo. I was like, that's pretty cool. He actually wore the same shirt too. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah,
I did like that final fight scene with the dragon. I thought the dragon looked really cool. Yeah. I thought it was pretty brutal, like when it stabbed her sister and like. And I really liked that they do this in the movies. That they use the Shazam as like the final blow, like almost always, like something to do. I thought that was dope.
It's not like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
because it feel overused.
No,
it's only been two movies, but you can do that in one.
Yeah, and again, it's like that is the epitome of Shazam, where he yells Shazam. Or like, I love when the dad does it. He's like, "Is that why our house keeps getting struck by lightning?" I thought that was really funny. He's like. Is that why our house keeps getting struck by lightning?
So funny. Or when he at the end of it, when they rebuild the house, they put no lightning in the house or shit like that. Or it was like lightning in the house. It was good. Like I said, there's a lot of like I really wish I was able to rewatch it before again, just because there were so many like little one-liners.
Again, I'm gonna rewatch it too. I try not to watch it too many times before we do a review because I don't want to be like overly critical of like. Yeah. Because the more I watch it too, I'll either hate it more or fall in love more. Like to this day, like every time I watch Doctor Strange, I like it more. Like I remember not liking it after I saw it in the theater. I'm like, where the fuck was Wolverine at? Like that's how I felt against the movie. I'm like, there wasn't any Wolverine. There wasn't any of that. It's like, and as I watch it, I'm like, it was a good movie if you're not like, if I'm not looking for them to like open up the entire multiverse with it. But yeah, Shazam was really good. I really liked the bad guys. I thought it was really cool. I wrote that down in my notes a bunch of times where it's like they do a great job of transitioning from like stupid little goofy kids to like hardcore villains who are like really murdering people and the monsters were like eating people and like it wasn't just like, oh, you're dead like Harry Potter where they're like, oh, you just dropped dead.
No,
or people were getting like eaten and ripped apart and like they were turned into like weird zombies. Like it was I really liked it.
It was intense, I will say that. One thing I also did not like was, so she was Hespera, right?
Which one?
Lucy Liu was Hespera. Okay, so Calypso then. I did not like it when she got stabbed. That was a good plot twist, but then she was alive for like 3 hours. Like I was like, okay,
well, she's a god, right?
I guess, but like you got stabbed by a god dragon.
I can't move until Shazam comes over here and says something to me.
Right, I didn't like it either because like she was like talking death, like really like. Softly and like dying. She's speaking like death like. And then out of nowhere she's like, I got you. So I'm like, you were just dying 2 minutes ago. Like, wake up here. That was a little like, that
I like the
me.
trap she played where she gets captured on purpose. She lets them think that they beat her and then I thought that was cool.
Yeah, like there was some pretty solid plot twist when they when Anthea and Freddy were on the ground and Shazam grabbed the dragon's tail. And then Hespera turns around and or I'll just say Lucy Liu, because I'm pretty sure we might be getting these names wrong. I should have written it down. But Lucy Liu was looking at Shazam because he was like running his mouth. And then he was like, Freddy, no. And then she turned around and he's like, ha, made you look. And then like, stuff like that. Like it's like, because that is like a typical cliche. It's like, oh, Freddy or the other protagonist is going to hop in, help her do something heroic. Yeah. But then like they made fun of that cliche with another plot. Like, sorry. But yeah, no, with that, like it was just cool. Like they did a lot. They did that a few times where they made their own original ideas, which I thought was really fun. I think that's the best word to describe this is fun. But next thing I do want to get into is the post-credit scenes. Just because there's one I want to discuss. I want to actually go over one quickly, and the other one I want to have a deeper, longer discussion about. Mm-hmm. So it was the second one. It was after everything was over. It was the Mark Strong's villain back in the first one. He's still in jail. He's got a long beard. He's still alive, etc. And then he was talking to the caterpillar again. And then he's like, "Oh, actually, I have one more thing that I can get you out." It just felt pointless to me, but I was like, I guess maybe it was just like a little funny thing, because it was the same thing in the first movie. But another one that I told you about was like a mid-credit scene, was Shazam was met up with Harcourt and Diebeard from Peacemaker, one of Amanda Waller's team, those two, Diebeard and Harcourt, and they met up with him. And long story short, what are you doing?
Looking up who's Hespera was the older sister.
Okay, so we're just wrong the whole time.
Okay. It was getting, when I said it, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not right.
I feel like it's wrong.
I just like to be confident when I'm wrong as well as when I'm right.
But yeah, no. So yeah, Shazam was offered to join the Justice Society of America, and that was that. Like, it was like a little gas station thing, this and that. And this kind of brought up a question that kind of started stirring in my head. And it's growing concerns for me regarding DC. And it's not giving me the high hopes that I had. But yeah, it's growing concerns for me because, again, we have yet another one pre-James Gunn.
Yeah.
Another actor, character that is... Now, that's a statement because those are Peacemaker, those are James Gunn's characters, that we're accepting another pre-James Gunn character into the new DCU. And it's kind of...
those aren't pre-James Gunn characters? Aren't those his characters?
No, I'm saying Shazam is the pre-James Gunn. Harcourt and Diebeard are James Gunn's character. That's what I'm saying.
They were Black Adam too. Like, it's frustrating.
Well, yeah, that's what's starting.
It's like, why are they kicking Black Adam out if those guys like?
That's
he obviously Harcourt and them being in those movies.
Yeah.
Then retroactively after the fact, he's like, no, I don't want any of those guys in the movies.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's starting to bother me because Black Adam's not in it. But I think there's more issues regarding The Rock. More so, I think more and more I keep seeing out. Rock was just like fucking with a lot of shit behind the scenes.
The Rock is a real superstar. They don't really have one of those in DC where like he can't make a bad movie, and he probably saw that DC it wasn't hitting. Like his Netflix movies do numbers.
Okay, we're doing. Everyone who's watching right now, I'm not dealing with this camera right now. I do apologize. We're gonna be audio only for the rest of this, just because my camera keeps cutting out every 2 minutes. So.
But yeah, like Rock is like a superstar, so he's probably just behind the scenes doing a lot of work to make sure. And he's a winner, so like I don't think it was in a bad way. I just think he aggressively promotes his movie.
It's hard to negotiate with him too, because I mean he does have leverage. He earned it. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
But the issue I have right now is with James Gunn, and maybe we'll discuss this more when we see Flash, because maybe it's gonna reset. Well, like I said, but the director of Shazam 2 said, well, the reason they have new suits was because we were supposed to come out after Shazam, or not, after the Flash, excuse me, and that's why they had new suits. It's going to be a new timeline. And so that stuck in my head. I'm like, all right, so we're keeping Shazam. We got rid of Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck. Well, Ben Affleck doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. He stated that.
Yeah, he's just
Ben
like,
Affleck and who else? Henry Cavill, infamously. But it's like it's getting really weird. Like it's starting. Aquaman's unannounced. I don't know. It's weird. Is he?
They said he was still in it, but then he also said he's going to come play a different character. Or
yeah,
something.
and that's just bothering me.
Yes, this is where it's like
it just might as well. I think they should do a clean slate. Like
if they're going to do that, or keep everyone and just like fix it. Like I would understand if they didn't have this fucking built-in mulligan where they can just say, we got the Flash, we reset the timelines. Like, then I understand you just rebooting the whole thing, getting new people. It's like, y'all could just reboot the timeline and be like, oh, none of that shit happened.
Yeah.
This is like, Henry Cavill is a different Superman in a different timeline. You know what I mean? Where, like, okay, Ben Affleck, he don't want to do it anymore. Where, like, it's a different Batman. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Batman had a son and it's him now and Batman's old.
Could have been.
Or he died. Batman's dead and his son's been taken over.
Yeah, could have been Dick Grayson or something.
Yeah,
like
I don't know what it is, but it's like, if you're doing the reset, I don't understand where you're finding. I just feel like it's wasting a lot of time.
Because he's stepping on his own toes, too. Because he's like, oh, we're having a younger Batman, but where Damian Wayne's the new Robin, but that's the youngest Robin, so Batman's naturally older.
Yeah,
and it's like contradicting.
But it's like Superman's gonna be working at the day, like right when he's getting into the Daily Planet.
So he's younger than.
So yeah,
Batman.
he's like 25. Like what the hell is happening?
I'm
like,
very confused.
Yes,
like he's
very,
not making it clear.
And James Gunn is very good. He does a good job. Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing. Peacemaker is amazing as well. I have nothing but good things to say about that. But like I'm just really confused.
Can't he world build? Like that's the thing.
Yeah, like I guess we'll see where like I thought he's like digging himself a hole. He said he's stepping on his own toes when it's like, why don't you just keep the people that they like?
Harley Quinn, we're keeping her.
Oh my god.
That one's staying. He stated that.
I think Harley Quinn might have sparked why we started
Robbie is an actress.
this show. Me and we didn't do an episode on the Suicide Squad, but I hated that she was the protagonist.
Cherry on top.
No, she wasn't cherry. She was the main character.
I meant like
yes, and then she got the final blow. That really perturbed me.
Yeah, I know that. I thought you were talking about.
And they like never even saved her. They like built up this mission to save her, and they're like, oh, I saved myself, and then I'm gonna kill the giant squid, and I'm just a girl who's a ninja. Like she didn't have any power. Oh, it's just frustrating. But yes, they're just.
It's really confusing. So I'm really thinking in my head, like, is James Gunn planning something that he just can't reveal right now? So like he can only announce stuff that's either impossible to keep private or something like that, where he can only announce certain things. He doesn't want to reveal too much.
Sucks we're only on audio, but now that I'm thinking of it, when you said that, I know I said before, you just released the clip where I was talking about there's only a few stories you can do in DC if you're doing like a universe.
Yeah.
And it's Injustice. And then the basic Darkseid story where he first comes, like the Thanos, or Crisis on Infinite Earth. Yeah. And this feels like something like that. Like there's going to be multiple Supermans. There's going to be multiple Shazams.
Maybe. That'd be.
Because like you said, it's so very confusing because like they made it the point to be like Black Adam's done. Well, if Black Adam's done, why did he put two of his characters from his show that's going to continue on in that? Then, okay, fine, you messed up one. You didn't know that. But it's in Shazam. They could have just cut that scene out.
Oh, yeah.
So like that's
talk about that. I was like, they had to shoot that after because it was like, it seems like James Gunn's plan.
Even if they didn't shoot it after, they could have cut it the day before the movie dropped.
Yeah.
Like they didn't, or you want me
to. It's not a hard scene to cut.
Yeah, it's just the end credits. Like you just don't show it. So it's like it wasn't like this part of the movie that had to be a part of it. Like so they intentionally showed us that again, where they're setting up Waller, like I said, making a new JSA, but it's like. New JSA, like I thought all that shit that just happened with that JSA didn't happen. So it's just very confused. We're like, makes me think, like I said, bring it on. I know I said it before because like I said, there's only so many storylines you can do. Like if you want to do like a series of movies, I mean, there's plenty of like one-offs you could do. But if you're trying to do 3 to 4 movies and like do a 10 series with different characters, really can only do Injustice.
I think they're doing Injustice. I don't know.
I don't think they are. I think with everything that's set up now, I think they're doing some kind of Crisis on Infinite Earth. Yeah. Just because if you were doing Justice, I think Batman and Superman would be the same age. That'd be similar ages.
Yeah. But the age gap has to be wild unless Batman's getting girls pregnant at 10. Like I'm very confused with that.
Because the underlying story of Injustice really is like they're brothers. They're like best friends and they're like head to head against each other. If it's an 80-year-old Batman against a young Superman, that doesn't seem very fair. No. So that doesn't make sense to me. They can't really. I would like them to do Injustice. I've been harping that all the time. It doesn't make sense if Batman's gonna be old. So I think they're gonna do something like that.
They have to do Injustice. I feel like it's gonna.
I'm assuming Injustice 2 probably had the rights to that is somewhere else. Well, I guess they're Warner Brothers. So I don't know. I don't think they're doing Injustice just because we don't have a Joker.
Yeah, I guess it is a mess. It's a mess. Or maybe it is Infinite.
Yeah,
Crisis on Infinite.
We can't really do Injustice, and like they had, unless they do like a Batman movie with a really good Joker in it, like right off the rip. But besides that, they can't do Injustice, like I said, because Batman and Superman are the same age, and there's no joke, no built-in Joker, like where Batman and his arc are already like. It just wouldn't be the same. I don't think it would be the same. It'd be a waste of time. So I now think when you, like I said, that kind of hit a spark. I think it's going to be Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Okay. Yeah,
just because, and I think Henry Cavill's going to be in it, and that'll be the reason.
That's why he's been like fuck Henry Cavill, so that everyone's so deterred.
And maybe. I think all the characters are going to still. That's why they're all still. He's keeping them like in it, because at some point they'll be in it.
He is playing maybe he is playing like a whole official reset, but not what we think.
Yeah,
maybe he's like, all right, I just got fuck.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a reset where like. It's like I said, it's Crisis on Infinite Earth where like you meet a new Superman, you tell his story, and then it happens and then they combine or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what, and maybe that's not it. I was just like you said, it's very confusing what the hell he's doing.
Yes.
And it's okay
getting
to
worse,
be confusing in Peacekeeper and
Guardians.
and Guardians, because like
it's their own world.
Yeah, like where like you can mess with stuff and be like weird, and it's like their fandom isn't as strong. We're like you're saying, like we can't do it justice. Superman and Batman are at the same age.
Yeah.
Like, there's little intricacies that like you release some stuff, so like we know we can start connecting dots.
Yes.
And if you're saying it, you're telling an old
there's no fucking dots to connect.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
exactly now. It's just like, and people aren't gonna like that
No.
because we want you to use the source material.
Yes, and it's getting really annoying for me is because, again, like I said earlier, that one thing I want to keep harping on is like it's just really confusing, and I don't know what the plan is. Like, if we're keeping like actually, I'll bring this back to this point. Is like, I don't want to discredit James Gunn because he just seems like such a nerd, like at heart. Like he brought up these D-list superheroes and made them into A-listers, Guardians and Peacemaker, obviously. But like, is it too much to handle, or like I don't want to say that because I feel like he knows it, but like he's just not revealing, or he's revealing the stuff the wrong way because he announced all that shit and he didn't think it through. Like I don't know.
Flash is what, in the summer?
Yeah, it's coming out.
That was when all the questions to be answered after that. When the reset happens and we see like what's going on, then he won't be able to hide anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I think he's waiting for that because he feels the pressure. He's said it a few times, like, "Hey, I understand what I'm holding. Like I know."
Yeah, and that's why people are going to be hypercritical of you, and it's okay to be like, you can fuck around with Peacemaker and with
Guardians
because. They don't
have that cult following like Batman.
It's not
Superman.
even close. Like not even close to that.
Nothing. A lot of superheroes aren't.
Well,
even
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying like they're not. They don't have any following. Like I never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie came out, and I'm gonna say I was pretty heavy into comic books.
Yeah.
More DC than Marvel, but I read Thanos' story before it happened.
Yeah.
I read like their Crisis on. Well, it's not called Crisis, but like Secret Wars and stuff. I'd read that way before these movies that came out. But I never heard of the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you hear like, oh, Peter Quill, but like I ain't like never read one of their comics. I was like, oh, it's a cannon fodder character.
Yeah.
And he literally that's one of the better trilogies they have. People love the Guardians.
I'm very excited for the third one.
Like I said, I'm constantly going about Peacemaker. It just was amazing.
It was. I gotta rewatch that.
It was just awesome. It was like a 10 out of 10 to me. I thought it was amazing. So it's like, oh, you're like, oh, well, he's gonna do something great with Superman, but it's like, there's rules to follow when you do Superman, when you do Batman, when you're telling some of these really like DC stories are iconic. Like you think Thanos' story is iconic. Like any DC story they tell is more popular than the Thanos story.
You only have two. It's Thanos. I guess
and Secret Wars.
Secret
Wars and Thanos.
Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, Avengers versus X-Men. Those are their big ones. Like outside of that, it's like. And those are all smaller than Injustice, Crisis on Infinite Earth. Oh, yeah. And it's like, you can't just, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to have a young Batman.
I truly don't think he's going to do that.
No, I don't either.
There's some smoke behind these mirrors or something.
I think so, too, because like the Superman thing doesn't make sense to me. Like that Superman's going to be 23 and Batman's going to be 50.
50, like what the fuck
that doesn't make, none of the stories really
are lining up, but we'll see. No. We don't want to harp on it too much, but I did want to bring that up because they brought it up in Shazam, and it confused me a lot. We didn't even do ratings. What do you rate the movie?
Well, we usually do that at the end.
Yeah.
I'll give Shazam. I'll give it a 7. I thought it was a really strong movie. Quick again. That's gonna give you more points to me. 2-hour movie. We were talking about. We're not dragging this along for 3 hours. Yeah. It's not supposed to be a 3-hour movie. I think. They hit the Shazam points, and Tom said earlier that it was kind of like Love and Thunder, and I would agree that it was, but that's the type of movie that Shazam can do. Like they don't have to be that, but that fits into what their narrative. Like if they want to be corny and tell a bunch of kiddie jokes and be all moody, that's fine. But Thor, that's whack. But like I said, I'll say 7. I thought the bad guys are good. CGI was great. I love that they used the Shazam for the final blow. I thought that was cool, and I thought Zachary Levi is just really nailing the Shazam character. And I hope they find other ways to insert him into the storyline because I think he really is charismatic.
I will say DC's been in shambles, but their casting.
And he pops on the screen. You got to find someone like they should have put him in Peacemaker. If you know what I mean. If you're gonna have Aquaman on them. Or something like that. Like I hope they do put him in stuff because I know he'll do it.
Oh yeah.
And I think he's one of those type of Deadpool-esque, really charismatic characters that you can pop all over the place and do little funny cameos and it'd be funny.
It would. For me, I rated this a 6.7. It's really funny how maybe we've been working for so long, maybe we have similar taste, but I gave this a 6.7. I gave it like a high mid rating just because, like I said, it wasn't crazy. It was simple, but I liked how simple it was. It didn't overcomplicate like a lot of these Marvel side stories have been lately. DC's kind of keeping it simple, which has been really nice. I have a lot of similar points. I assume you guys are a little more bored with the audio, so I don't want to take you guys too long. We did have a solid rant here regarding DC's future. As you guys know, we know how we like to get on DC's ass about that. But that is the end of this episode, guys. If you could do us a favor right now, leave a like and subscribe down below. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are down below and on the screen right here. Other than that, I'm Tom. Yeah, they can't see you, so can you say your name?
Sean.
There you go. That's Sean. And other than that, we'll see you guys next episode. You guys have a good day. Take care.